The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees. Hello, this is Mark Miller once again, and welcome to another episode of the Kitsap Literary Artists and Writers Artisan and Creative Showcase. And today we have Ruth Prickett, a screen and script writer, and we're going to be discussing a whole bunch of stuff about film. How you doing, Ruth?
Oh, great, thank you.
Thank you. So, we were just having a little previous discussion here. And actually, you started in creativity with acting, etc., back in your younger years.
Yeah.
So why don't you explain how you actually got started in that type of career?
Well, I guess at 7 years old, it was my dream to be a movie star. You know, I think all little girls kind of want to be either a nurse or a movie star, I think, you know, and I wanted to be a movie star. So with help from my neighborhood, we all got together. We had a neighborhood theater for about 10 years, and it was so much fun. And my dream kind of ended, you know, when getting married young and having children, but picked it back up again. But not until later on.
Well, just out of curiosity, back then, what kind of little plays and films and stuff like that did you put on?
Skits, pretty much more like skits, like like Carol Burnett show type skits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Did anybody, by any chance that anybody ever recorded any of it?
Oh no, I wish. You know what? Yeah, actually, my dad might have, but he had a whole film theater and editing room and all that, and back in those days, and our basement flooded, and it was in our basement, so all that got destroyed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it would have been cool to have
Why did he have all of the? I take it he had an 8mm and a 16mm.
Yes, yeah.
Why did he have all
My dad wanted to make films.
Oh.
He was kind of a home filmmaker, but it was an interest of his. Also, photography and film.
And just out of curiosity, what was his career?
My dad was a building inspector. Back then he was a contractor, I think, and then he became a building inspector for the city of Troutdale in Oregon.
He had a little bit of an artistic gene in him that he passed on to you.
Yeah.
Because he was into film and creativity, and then you got into like you said, the skits and stuff like that.
Yeah. Also, my mother was the supervisor in the Media Service Center for the school district. So she was really into books and film also. So.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you said, like a lot of us that happened, you plan on doing one thing, like I was going to be an investigative reporter, and I never did.
Yeah.
So then you wound up, you were a meat cutter.
Yeah, for a few years, yeah.
Yeah, and we were just having this discussion that actually, you know, slicing things up and dicing things up actually can work into film sometimes.
Yeah, it could be really good for a horror scene, I guess, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus the whole idea of, I guess, editing and things like that.
Yeah.
So then, of course, life throws you big curveballs sometimes.
Yeah.
And so...
Well, I like to say life comes at you fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what kind of happened that, I guess, kind of derailed things for a while?
Well, a couple of things.
Yeah.
So first, I got married really young.
Yeah.
But I also had children really young. And my first child was born with profound disabilities.
Oh, okay.
And so I ended up spending 6 years at home taking care of
Yeah.
him until I couldn't anymore. And then I got sick myself, and I ended up with a brain disease that was life-threatening and very painful. And it put me in bed. I was bedridden pretty much for about 8 out of 10 of those years. So it kind of set me back. And it actually took me about another 18 years to recover from that.
Yeah.
So.
And then, so more recently, then of course, you decided to get back into creativity when it had to do with film and the visual arts, I guess you'd call it.
Well, it's kind of, I always knew that I could write. I always knew that I had a little knack, but everybody kind of likes their own writing, it seems like. So I wasn't quite sure. And honestly, I didn't have a retirement. I didn't have a man in my life, so I didn't have anybody to save me financially.
Yeah.
And so I had to save myself. And I thought, well, what am I going to do? And I thought, you know what, and now I've got my health back. I'm going to go to college. So I ended up going back to school thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I just took a couple of classes, and a couple of people had told me, the film school at Olympic College was a lot of fun, especially the screenwriting classes. And I thought, I really like to write. And I didn't know much about film at all at that point. But I took my first screenwriting class, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I'm still a student at Olympic College. I'm still in the film program. I'm loving every minute of it. It's changed my life. It's opened my eyes, and I would recommend it to anybody that can go that way. If that's what they want to do it. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. I'm having the time of my life.
And that's something kind of put out there to the audience, that you don't have to start being creative at a certain age. You can always be creative sometime in your life, and there's not just one form of creativity. We've got people in CLAW, we've got painters, writers, film people, musicians, you name it. And everybody probably has that little hidden creativity.
Yeah, probably.
We just got to develop it.
During COVID, I found out I could do portraits.
Oh!
I was sick with
We should have
COVID.
brought a portrait in here.
Yeah, I should have. I was sick with COVID, and I thought, well, I can't have anybody at my house. I'm alone.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? I'm bored to death. And so I just started drawing. I found out, I can do, just some, pencil portraits, and I can get the essence of someone, and I found out I could do that.
Then the next time you come, especially if you come to not the filmmakers part of CLAW, but just the writers, should bring some of them, because we're always looking for people that can do like book covers and also interior art, but also that type of ability also can help you if you're, like you said, you're coming up with the reader board and everything like that, for a film. And where you're putting together, now everybody does.
You mean for like a
what do they call
it?
My brain just went when it's like an overgrown comic strip that they're doing now for film. What do they call it? I can't remember what to call it.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And the audience probably does, and I can't remember what to call it. But anyways,
poster.
Yeah,
it's a film poster, pretty much,
and things like that. Not only film posters, but also when they're laying out the whole script, they do it visually.
You're talking about storyboard?
There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
Thank
storyboard.
You.
Yes.
See, that's what happens.
No, I don't know. I don't know about storyboards. I'm still doing stick people on my storyboards.
Well, but that's just it, though. But if you got that artistic ability, you can. I can only draw stick figures.
Yeah.
That's it. But if you can do anything else, Of course, you can do your own storyboard.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm that good yet,
You probably are. You just haven't. You just got to get to practice and
Yeah,
and start doing
it's
it.
something I'll do when I'm sick. I don't know.
There we go.
I would rather write when I'm well.
So, just for grins, we have. I guess you'd call it a partial screenplay or script, because I wanted to kind of try to hold it up and show the formatting is different than if you're trying
yes.
to write a book.
Oh, way different.
And so if you try to look at this does not look like a page from a book. Screenplays and script writers, you have, not only do you have little lines here written out as to what the action is, but then you have all the dialogue. And the dialogue is broken down, as you can tell. There's no quotes around it or anything, but you just have the name of the character. Here it's the Sheriff Max in Jinx, and it goes back and forth, and then in between is where they're setting up the scene. Now, this script is the original screenwriter's script.
Yeah, this is from Final Draft.
Yeah, Final Draft, and that's the formatting that Hollywood kind of, it's the default that they're kind of using now for the formatting. This is different than from what they call a director's script. A director's script has a lot more details in it, but when you submit a script as a screen or script writer, you do it in this format because the director, being as they figure it's their movie, even though you wrote the screenplay, they're going to try to figure out how to shoot it, i.e. how to film it. And so they're going to put all these other details in area that if we as screenwriters or script writers tried to do, they scream at you.
Right. We can put a little bit of sound in.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of visuals.
Right.
In fact, we want to write like we're seeing it, not like we're saying it.
Right.
But you're right. The director can make a screenplay pretty incredible, though, with their creativity. And that's my next venture, is to learn a little bit more about directing.
Well, we have, my publisher also has a little film division, and she kind of teaches people how to do the director's script. In other words, you write the script knowing that you're going to direct it and stuff. So you can put more details in there as to wide shot, close-up shot, and all this stuff on the original script rather than the director coming in and marking it all up later on.
Yeah. Oh,
but it's just, she started doing that because she started doing all her own stuff. And so she teaches other people kind of do that. But that's if you're going to be not only the writer, but you're going to be actually directing and producing the film yourself.
Which is becoming more common, I understand.
Yeah.
More writers are becoming directors. I don't know if I'm quite that creative. Directors have a very creative vision.
Well, when you write, I mean, like I write books. I tried writing a screenplay or two once, and I suddenly discovered that it's a lot more work. I enjoy
much more.
Yeah. I enjoy writing book-wise because it gets more in the flow and the formatting. It's just easier for me. Some people will tell you, I love writing, like you said, Final Draft and screenwriting and stuff like that, as opposed to everything else.
So I used to write a lot of just writing, thinking I wanted to write a book until I learned how to screenwrite.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a lot more work. For me to write one page, it takes me about 6 minutes to even get the idea down on just with pen and paper, and then I have to rewrite it and rewrite it and rewrite it. Sometimes there's 30 rewrites in a screenplay before you feel like you get it right.
Exactly.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, but sometimes this takes that many because you have to be the camera, you have to be the audience and the writer at the same time. So.
Yeah, you can get into a lot of rewrites as an author, but not, like you said, not as probably as many, because when you're doing the old screenwriter and script writing, like you said, you're having to think about, because you're going to be working with a crew, and you're going to be working with cameras, and so you got to figure out all that in there.
Yeah.
It's not like, well, I can create this whole scene in whole cloth in a book,
Right.
but when you're doing a film, you got to figure out all this other stuff that's coming in,
Right.
you know, from the outside and everything.
Yeah. So every time I write an action scene
Yeah.
and a dialogue, and then another action scene, I have to make sure that there's not another action scene that needs to be in between
Yeah.
that, so that there's the visual, so the audience gets the visual that I'm trying to put across. So yeah, there's a lot to screenwriting.
Yeah, and of course, like you said, because of the flow of the story, all of a sudden, if you're writing scenes where you got this huge jump in between, when it comes time to production, the producer director will look at it and says, "What were you thinking of?
Yeah.
You know how much more extra work that's going to take? Why didn't you simplify it? You know, type stuff."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's when you read it, it seems simple.
Yeah.
But when you write it, it is quite difficult. It does take a lot of thought.
Well, that's just it, and that's why when you see productions in the film or on TV or whatever, I don't think most of us realize a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that goes into it and everything. And you go over to Olympic, and I know they deal with a lot of that, and they make a lot of the student films, and of course you got the sound and you got the visuals and the lighting and all that good stuff. And in fact, we have a guy in the Claude, the little film group, who is a sound man.
Yeah, I've met him. Yeah.
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 And that's what he's been doing for years and years. He got all his own sound equipment
Yeah,
because he likes
that's great.
dealing with sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Huh, yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I was just thinking about some of the scripts and some of the movies the short films that I've seen.
Yeah.
The seniors last year put on a great show this year.
Okay.
They did really incredible films. I was impressed.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be a student at Olympic College. May not be the most prestigious college.
No.
But it's I'm having the time of my life, and I'm learning so much, and it's been and I actually feel like I have a chance at maybe winning a few festivals, maybe even writing a really good screenplay and getting one.
There you go, one of those.
Yeah, one of these. This is not not the real thing, but my supportive friends
of course
thought my screenplay was pretty good and gave this
there
to
we
me.
go.
So
But yeah, at Olympic College has really been expanding its visual arts program over the last 10 years. And we've had members on the Bremerton Kitsap Access Advisory Board.
Yeah.
Also from Olympic College.
Yeah.
And I've been on the advisory board for a few years, so yeah.
Oh, are you on the advisory board there?
Yeah, they try to bring people in from Olympic College because we want to get the younger people involved in, of course, the filmmaking and everything. But of course, I also try to drag people into the literary world, and try to get kids in there just to write books and stuff too.
It's kind of good to have a little of both if you can, to do a little bit of both types of writing.
Yep.
They do offer some pretty good classes for both that I've seen lately. They offered a class just on writing your own story, I think, recently.
Cool.
Yeah. It was a short class, but anyway, that was pretty cool. I am also in the process of writing 3 other screenplays.
Yeah.
I don't know about other people, but I cannot sit down and write the same screenplay all at one time. I have to go back and forth because I am taking things from my own life.
Yeah.
And sometimes those things can get pretty heavy.
Oh yeah.
Unless you're writing a comedy. You know, so sometimes it's good for me. I'm writing a thriller, and I'm writing a ghost story.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
kind of a ghost siren story. It's a cute little story. And then I'm writing another story that's taken off of my daughter's life, which I'm going to expound on and probably make it sci-fi also.
Yeah.
But that can be pretty heavy. And so to go back and forth, and it's helpful for me. I don't know, other people probably want to sit down and focus on their play and get it done. But I'm not on a time frame, and so I like what I like to do.
Yeah.
I like to go take road trips
Well, there you go.
and get inspired by road trips, and I'll go, I don't know, I'll go up to Squam or something on a nice day and take my dog, and I'll sit out at a restaurant outside and I'll write. Or I'll go to the beach and sit at a picnic table and write. So I do take the time to write, but I don't know, a lot of other writers also don't write like I do. Like when I write, I know another girl that writes kind of like I do. I do kind of write it. My first rough draft on paper, I kind of write it out like a book.
Yeah.
And then I go into my pre-writing and I start writing it more into a screenplay. And I try to follow the hero's journey. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I do like to break the rules with the hero's journey and go a little bit outside of that. A lot outside of that, or twist it around if I can and make it totally upside down. So that's been a really good learning curve too, is learning how to break the rules in writing.
Well, that's just it. I get in arguments with people because sometimes you need that odd story arc. You need that odd whatever to make things a little bit different,
I think all the great writers in the past have always had that niche.
Yeah.
They've been able to find that unusual or odd thing that stands out.
Right.
So that was really cool. So I do go to a writer's room. I do go to a writer's room, and one of my stories that I was doing some of the pre-writing on, I did a pitch in the story room or in the writer's room, and when I gave them my pitch, jaws were dropped.
Oh, okay.
Nobody could say anything. They were like all like that, and I was like, okay, this is good.
There we go.
But I encouraged them to give me questions, and so I did get some feedback.
There you go.
But that's when you've got
something.
Yeah.
I have the floor director here is giving me the old, we got to wrap things up.
Okay,
so
great.
I'm really glad you came here, and we
thank
can
you.
talk about the whole process. And I'm going to try to see if they can do a close-up that I can do the editing on just the format.
Sure.
But once again, Mark Miller here with Kitsap Literary Artists and Writers at Bremerton Kitsap Access Television. Once again, of course, we have to remind everybody that if it wasn't for BCAT, we wouldn't be able to come here and talk about filmmaking. And in addition to that, of course, I also have a publisher, and also she has a film division with Blue Forge Press and Blue Forge Films that also gives me a lot of support, so we can also find creatives and writers, etc., out here to try to come here for the interview shows. And Kitsap Literary Artists and Writers meets the first and third Wednesdays of every month at the Denny's on Kitsap Way in Bremerton, Washington. Official meeting starts at 7 o'clock. It's open to all creatives. And of course, support the Olympic Film School.
Yeah.
It's one of these little gems in our area that people either don't know about or forget about. And so with that, everybody out there in the audience, please start thinking about doing whatever you think you can do as a creative or an artist. Because the more creativity we do in life, it seems like things are a little bit better and easier. And so with that, this is Mark Miller saying good day and having a very pleasant month and year. Thank you.